Hey everyone, welcome to Tathastu-ICS. I hope you all are doing good. Well, most of us are glued to our TV channels because of G20. We all know G20 summit is happening in New Delhi and it's a very proud moment as an Indian and as a UPSC aspirant, it's becoming very important. The topic is becoming very important. That is why so many videos have been made on this particular topic, G20, and on its various dimensions. And today only on September 9th, 2023, a big development has happened. African Union, a group of 55 nation states have joined G20, and after European Union this is going to be the second regional bloc to join G20. So today we are going to talk about this particular news and its significance and the relationship between India and Africa. Okay, other than this, we will also discuss how in this race towards the Africa, which was between India and China, it seems like India has pipped out China. So we'll see that thing also. So let us discuss, let us talk about this particular thing. But before that, here's a quick information for all of you. 4 beautiful courses have been designed by Tathastu. Number 1 is MSLV, Main Success Launch Vehicle. Admissions are open here. You will be able to write beautiful answers through multiple dimensions, which are required to get nice good marks here in the UPSC. Second one is PSLV, Prelim Success Launch Vehicle. It is coming soon. Third one is to cover all the basics, to cover the base. NCERTs are necessary, we all know, and there's an NCERT module. Registrations are open for it. And then fourth, there's philosophy optional, and this new batch will start from 15th of September by Dr. Tanu Jan ma'am. Okay, so here's the number you can contact her. Here's the address. You can come and visit the coaching center if you want. If you want to see, if you want to teachers, if you want to meet teachers. Well, let's go on. Let's talk about the news. So why is this thing in news? Because this was India's move to include the African Union as a member of G20 in the, and this is in the news because it is a significant development that will give Africa a greater voice in the global economic and political affairs. Okay, so in this January only there was a summit, there was a meeting called the Voice of Global South, and it has been said, the experts are saying that from that particular meeting, which has been called upon to discuss the problems and the solutions of the global south and the significance of global south, this idea came into existence that should can be inculcate. India started thinking that can we include African Union and the 55 members of African Union also into the G20. Okay, and what is this African Union? So it's a group of 55 countries, and its inclusion in G20 will help to ensure the voices of African countries are heard on the issues such as climate change, poverty, and development. Now we all know the countries of global south, or the countries of South Asia, Southeast Asia, Africa. These are the countries which are severely impacted by this climate change issue. Okay, and we know climate change is such a big issue. We discussed comprehensively about the cloudburst in Himachal Pradesh. Before that, we discussed about the Uttarakhand flash floods. So this is a reality, and we are living with that. And these are the countries who are severely hit, uh, who are facing the consequences of these particular things. Okay, so it is important to include them. And Prime Minister Modi also said, here's a quote, he said this while addressing the G20 members. Well, there is Bharat, we have also been talking about Bharat. So what he said was, it is this is a historic moment for Africa and for G20. The inclusion of African Union will help to ensure the voices of African countries are heard on most important issues facing the world today, those issues which the world are facing. He also said that many old problems need new solutions, and a new solution would come when the majority of the countries would work together for a common interest, for a common goal. And after COVID we have seen these were the words of Prime Minister Modi, that after COVID we have seen that the a lack of trust is there between the different countries. So with the inclusion of 15% of the population of the world, because African Union, these 55 countries represent 15% of the population, and with the inclusion of these 15%, it's going to be around the representation at G20 or G21, which is now turning G21. It would be around 80%. Okay, so a body, a group, a organization which is representing 80% of the population, it matters. Okay, So let us briefly look at G20 summit. What is this G20 summit? G20 of this 2023 New Delhi. So the theme of G20 is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We have discussed this a lot. Meenakshi ma'am also made a short on this. So a Sanskrit phrase that means the world is one family. Okay. This theme reflects India's commitment to multilateralism and its belief that world's problems can be solved through cooperation. Okay, and this is what PM Modi has said, that we need to cooperate, we need to develop a sense of trust between the member states, between the member nations of the G20. Now the agenda, broadly, these four were the agendas of the G20: more loans to developing nations, okay, and reforming the international debt architecture. Okay, because it has been said and it has been observed that through these debt there has been a crisis of debt trap, and because of these debt traps many countries are facing they are losing their economic freedom and their economic sovereignty. So it has been a concern. So there have been call for more loans to developing countries, that too in a reformed international debt architecture, regulation on cryptocurrency. Now this has been in news for a longer period of time. Nirmala Sitharaman ji, our finance minister, and the RBI governor Shantikanta Das ji, both have been stressing upon the regulation of cryptocurrency. And yesterday also Nirmala Sitharaman ji was saying that this cryptocurrency and the boom of this cryptocurrency could lead to uh, to severe consequences. It can affect the fiscal infrastructure of the countries negatively. Okay. Fourth thing is the impact of geopolitical uncertainties on food and energy security. Yesterday we talked about ASEAN, and PM Modi went there and Indo-ASEAN Summit, 20th Indo-ASEAN Summit. And while talking about that, the two main things which have been discussed there were, one was maritime corporation, and another was the food security. Okay, another one was the food security. And food security, why? Because of various global issues, be it the Ukraine Russia war, be it the calling of Black Sea grain deal. So these are the issues which have been there. Okay, now let us briefly talk about the African Union and the history of African Union, how it evolved, and then we'll see the cooperation between India and African Union. Now in 1963 the African Union Unity, OAU, was founded by independent African states. Okay, so those states who were independent in 1963 in African continent, they made this OAU, Organization of African Unity. The main goal of this Organization of African Unity was to promote cooperation among the African states. But 17 years down the line, in 1980, a development happened. This AOU adopted the Lagos Plan of Action. Now, what is this Lagos Plan of Action? It suggested that the Africa should reduce its reliance on the West. Okay, now these African countries have been the colonies of West, and this colonization and then the concept of new colonization were coming. So it has been said through this Lagos Plan of Action that we should reduce our resilience on the West and we should try to become Atmanirbhar. Okay, now this is the word which we have been listening for a good period of time. In India, it encouraged the promotion of intra-African trade as the means to achieve this goal. Okay, so what would be a way to achieve this self-reliance? What would be a way out to get away from this debt trap, or to get away from the reliance on the African states? So that would be intra-African trade. अपने अपने में ट्रेड करते हैं, ठीक है, तुम मुझे, not literally the barter system, but yes, we'll take care of each other and then we'll move forward. Then after 1980 comes 2002, sorry, 2002. Okay, so in 2002 the Organization of African Unity, AOU, was succeeded by African Union. Now this was the time when this present African Union was formed in 2002. Okay, and one key objective of the African Union was to accelerate the economic integration to the continent. Okay, कि economic integration जो भी हो रहा है, we need to accelerate it. Now in present times, what is the shape of this African Union? So it consists of 55 members representing the entire African continent. Okay, the whole of African continent. Now let me show you the African continent. So the mouse is not properly working. We have to go all the way back to first slide, so I'm not going there. But yes, the African Union consists of 55 member states, and it represents the entire of African Union. The supreme body of AU is the assembly of heads of state and government. Okay, now this is important because African Union is getting important, so these tidbits are important for you from a prelims perspective. The other organ of AU include Peace and Security Council, the Commission, and Pan-African Parliament, and the Court of Justice. Now here is also a Court of Justice which is important. Okay, so one is Peace and Security Council, and another one is a Commission which is there. A Pan-African Parliament is also there, so EU also has a parliament. Okay, and they also have a Court of Justice. Now let us talk about the cooperation which is there between India and Africa. So we can, while writing our answers, we always see that we have to think and we have to write through multiple dimensions. Okay, so here also we are going to write this thing through multiple dimensions. So India Africa relations, so these are the relations we are going to talk about. Number one is social infrastructure. There is a kind of social infrastructure. So India and Africa have a strong partnership in the area of social infrastructure, and these social infrastructure include number one, education, number two, health, number three, skill development. Now skill development is important for employment, and obviously education and health, these are the two things which makes the basic structure of any society. Okay, so India and Africa, they are both stressing upon having a strong partnership to develop these three things. Okay, another one is this cooperation is multidimensional and comprehensive, and it involves national, state, and sub-national actors. Okay, so it has been done at multiple dimensions: the center level, the state level, okay, the sub-national actors, the district level. मतलब जिस जगह पे किया जा सकता है, the things have been tried. The goal is to augment African institutional and individual capacities in these areas. Okay, one is social infrastructure, another one is common geopolitical interest. Now this is the thing which is important. Geopolitical interest today is, I was listening to someone said that now the things have changed to optopolitical. Okay, geopolitical से अब जो photos वगैरह खींचते हैं तो things have changed to optopolitical. Okay, so India and Africa have common interest on a number of international issues, and these include UN reforms, because India has been stressing for a permanent membership at UN Security Council, and for India the support of these 55 nation states is very much important, considering how China is, we all know, going to stop this as much as they can, for as much of a longer period of time as they can. Second one is counter terrorism. Now this is a thing we have seen this जब हम Wagner group के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, and we have seen how this Wagner group is active in this particular region, and the soldiers of Wagner group, be it 10,000, 15,000, okay, 20,000, they are active here. Okay, and we have seen this, the coup belt which is there in the African state, where the large number of countries are turning, the coup is happening there, and the military leaders are converting them into military states. So one thing is there, and another thing is counter terrorism, and now India has a stance on it. Counter terrorism, they say there is a zero tolerance policy here. Then there is peacekeeping, cyber security is a issue, is a threat in today's time, and then energy security. They work together to promote these shared interests in multilateral forums. Okay, so you'll see that India and Africa, they have a good relationship. Other than this social reform and this which we talked about, geopolitical interest, the third one is economic cooperation. India China relations, they have this common ground, economic cooperation. India economic engagement in Africa is substantive. How substantive? Because in last 15 years, in last decade and a half, the trade between India and Africa have not only multiplied, it has also diversified. So earlier they were trading in 3, 4, 5, 6 items or the categories. Now the category has enlarged to 15, 20. Okay, and the bilateral trade of 63.3 billion in 2018-19 made India the third largest trading partner of the continent. Okay, so this is a big number. Okay, yesterday when we were talking about ASEAN, so the numbers of ASEAN were around in 1 year was around $111 billion, something around 110 $111 billion. Okay, so although it is half of it, but still we are on a good path. And even if India is continent's third largest partner, so we are important to them and we are important for the holistic development of African continent. Now this thing is a reality, as PM Modi has also said that COVID-19 has played a crucial role. Okay, after COVID-19, the geopolitics and the face of the geopolitics has already changed. The global world order, which was there before 2019, has significantly changed. Now it has been said that it has been changed, and because of this, the countries like India, they have turned up. They tried to मतलब, although there was आपदा, but हमने उस आपदा में अवसर ढूंढने की कोशिश की. We tried to help ourselves and we tried to help the member states who are there, specifically the member states of global south. Okay, I hope you all know what is global south. So there's a band line, imaginary band line, where the Europe and America and Europe and this Australia and New Zealand, everything comes into the northern part, and this southern part is, I'm sorry, this southern part is India, India, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and all these continents, and India obviously is a part of South Asia, so it comes under it. Okay, now let us talk about this particular thing, the COVID-19. So India has been a major supporter of Africa in Africa's fight against COVID-19 under the ITEC. Now, what is this? This is the technological and educational initiative. India has shared COVID-19 management strategies and training webinars with African healthcare professionals. Not only they send the hydrochlorine and the paracetamols to African countries, but doctors have also been sent. Paramedical staff has also been sent in response to the COVID-19 and to fight the COVID-19 there. Okay, so that is the reason why the relationship between India and Africa is growing so fast, and that is the reason why India wants Africa to be a part of this BRICS, this G20, and they think that this would actually help them. Now there's a China factor also. Okay, so what is this China factor? India and China both are the major players in Africa, but they have taken different approaches to the engagement. China has been more active in Africa since early 2000s through a forum called FOCAC. Now this is Forum of China and African Cooperation. Okay, so India क्या है ना, वो recently engaged हुआ है. Just recently India got engaged, but it has made significant strides in the recent years. It had tried to come over and it had tried to engage with the African continent by including African Union in 2022. This has already, whatever has been there and whatever has been tried by India as a nation state in the favor of Africa, it has been consolidated with the inclusion of Africa in G20. Now why is this thing important? And as I've already said, that it seems like in this particular race to Africa, now it seems, although China has started ahead and China started in early 2000s only, but it seems like today India is in a better position because China's engagement with Africa has been largely focused on trade and investment. ठीक है, ये बिल्कुल वो बाजार वाला इन्वेस्टमेंट था, while India's engagement has been more focused and the development cooperation and people to people ties were there. Okay, and through this now it has all for last 4-5 years now it has been reduced, but earlier there was a talk that what is better, the hard power, the hard negotiations are better, or the soft negotiations, or trying to touch the heart of the people is more important. Okay, so India has focused on doing these things, although China had money and they had the printer and they were going they were able to help by doing help. They said that we'll help you, but we have the examples of China and we have the examples of other countries, what have China done there. So India's help is more sustainable, and that is the thing, that China has been criticized for its debt trap policy in Africa, while India has been praised for a more sustainable approach. Okay, and because of this sustainable approach, because of these people to people ties, in today's scenario, if there is a race between India and China, so India will find itself in a better position. Okay, That is why it has been said that India has been more recent in its engagement, but it has made significant strides in the recent years, and this move signals India's leadership among developing nations or the nations of the global south. Now, yesterday also I've said that you are going to listen this word quite significantly and for a longer period of time, this global south. Okay, because India has said that we are well established, we are well placed to lead this global south. Okay, and this inclusion, it will help India in its pursuit to United Nations Security Council's permanent membership. Okay, that is the reason why everybody is happy, and that is the and other than this, we all know that there's a resource curse on Africa. uh, be it Niger, which has been cooled now, and then Gabon. Now these are the regions who have been supplying various natural minerals and various important minerals to the world. Okay, so because of these colonizations and then neo-colonialism, the 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 respect and the place which Africa should get, they are still lacking it, and maybe someday they'll get it. But for now, our lecture is over, and we'll meet in the other class. Until then, take care.